Good morning. Welcome to JP's Morning Brief for April 13th. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Got some good friends online so far this morning. That's awesome. I see you, Richard. That's cool. I hope everybody's doing fine. If you live in the area of Texas we live in Coppers Cove, we got almost 3 inches of rain in 2 days. Almost built a boat. Almost built a boat. Well, we're still here, which is good. And then we had some good friends come over yesterday afternoon after church, and we just made everybody a cheeseburger and just relaxed for a few minutes. But man, it was a pretty good weekend. And then we found out the night prior that the vice president spent 21 hours um, in negotiations with Iranians, and it didn't go nowhere. Oh my goodness, man! All that time spent, but he's doing the job we pay him to do, which is good. But we'll get into more of that in just a minute or so. I'm trying to get this. There we go. I don't feel comfortable unless I see myself on TV. I'm not that type of person. I mean, I just want to see that I'm actually live. Okay. And it looks like I froze. What's my speed? 6,400. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, as we get started for this morning brief, because we got to speed up because 7 o'clock comes fast here. Um, so welcome. Thank you for showing up today. I've already said that like 1,000 times, but if you're not already a follower of the podcast, click that follow button, please, and you get notified every time I go live, which is cool. We're at 143 right now. We're trying to build back up. I would like to get at least 3 more by the end of this week, and then like the show for the day, and then chat with us. I got a good friend of mine, Covite for Life. He's on here right now. We just like to talk to people and get engaged on what's going on, what y'all would like for me to talk about sometimes, which is really, really cool. Um, and then, oh yeah, so Wednesday morning, 2 days from now, okay, I will not have a morning brief because I have to go to the VA to get labs done. All right, so just so you know, it'll be today, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, but not Wednesday morning. All right, so let's get going. So America 250 for the 12th of April, which was yesterday, right? But if I skip the 12th of April, that'd be my fault because the 12th of April turned out to be a very important event in the American Revolution. All right, so you'll see in just a second. Okay, so the North Carolina Provincial Congress, I think that's what they call them, adopted the Halifax Resolves, authorizing its delegates to vote for independence. It was the very first colony to authorize their delegates to go through the motions to get independence going on down the road, right? So that ensues. I'm going to read it to you. All right, so here we go. Buckle up. Here we go. The Halifax Resolves. The Select Committee, taken into consideration the usurpations and violences attempted and committed by the King and Parliament of Britain against America, and the further measures to be taken for frustrating the same, and for the better defense of this province, reported as follows, to wit: it appears to your committee that pursuant to the plan concerted by the British Ministry for subjugating America, the King and Parliament of Great Britain have usurped a power over the persons and property of the people, unlimited and uncontrolled, and disregarding the humble petitions for peace, liberty, and safety, have made divers legislative acts denouncing war, famine, and every species of calamity daily employed in destroying the people and committing the most horrid devastation on the country. The governors in different colonies have declared protections to slaves who should imbrue their hands in the blood of their masters, that the ships belonging to America are declared prizes of war, and many of them have been violently seized and confiscated, in consequence of which multitudes of the people have been destroyed, or from easy circumstances reduced to the most lamentable distress. And whereas the moderation hereto manifested by the United Colonies in their sincere desire to be conciled to the mother country of constitutional principles, have procured no mitigation of the aforesaid wrongs and usurpations, and no hopes remain of obtaining redress by those means alone, which have been hereto tried. Your committee are the opinion that the House should enter into the following resolve, to wit: resolve that the delegates of this colony in the Continental Congress be empowered to concur with other delegates of the other colonies in declaring independency and forming foreign alliances, resolving to this colony the sole and exclusive right of forming a constitution and laws for this colony, and of appointing delegates from time to time under the direction of a general representation thereof to meet the delegates of the other colonies for such purposes as shall be hereafter pointed out. That is the Halifax Resolves, which is really good. I got a bachelor's degree in history. I've never read this. This is a very important document in the course of the American Revolution. I will read this again this afternoon during the JPA report. All right. What do y'all think? If you're proud to be an American after reading that, let's see the American flag in the live chat. There we go. I'll get us started. All right. That was really cool. All right. So, Iran update, Operation Epic Fury. This is day 6 of the ceasefire, which is barely holding at this point. All right. Thanks a lot, Kovite, for life for the American flag. That's awesome. So, Vice President in Iran had talks that broke down after 21 hours. The U.S. blockade of the Strait of Hormuz begins this morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, and then we'll go into that in just a minute. Iran says it will resist. Resistance is futile, okay? I learned that from a movie. Iran will not give up their nuclear program. So that's the Iran update for the day. The good thing is bullets aren't flying right now. All right, cool heads can still prevail. We'll see. Just about an hour or so ago, the Brent crude oil was trading at $102.62 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate was trading at $95.95 a barrel. And in the Dow Jones is currently it closed on Friday at 47,916 and .57. It was down 269.23. I can tell you right now, I haven't looked at the futures yet, but I guarantee the Dow is going to go down this morning due to the fact of the peace talks didn't succeed, right? And the price of oil Let's see. I told y'all Brent crude was at 102 a barrel. Let's see what it is right now. 102 barrel. Well, it actually went down a little bit. Huh. I could be wrong. Y'all did not hear that. Okay. I never admit that James is ever wrong. Hopefully my wife doesn't hear me in another room. All right. So that's the Iran update. We're doing good at 6:40. Let's see some American flags in the chat and some likes going on here. All right, so U.S. Iran failed to reach peace agreement after marathon talks in Pakistan. Um, is Vice President J.D. Vance said the U.S. and Iran failed to strike a peace deal to end the 6-week war rocking the Middle East, blaming Tehran's refusal to give up its nuclear ambitions, leaving uncertainty over whether fighting will resume. Vance delivered a quick update after 21 hours of grueling negotiations in Pakistan, noting meaningful discussions were held with Iran, but none that brokered a deal on terms laid out by the U.S. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran more than it's bad news for the United States of America. They have chosen not to accept our terms, so we go back to the United States not having come to an agreement. That's from our great vice president. He tried, and from what I was hearing on the news yesterday morning, the big hangup came because Iran did not want to give up its nuclear program. You know, they want to be able to enrich uranium, and if you're a liberal, you're saying, no big deal. We gave them $1.7 billion to be able to do what they want, develop a peaceful nuclear program, and they need to supply power to their country. And that's a bleeding heart level. The fact is, these yahoos have already enriched uranium to 60%, and they were on their way to go to 90% enrichment. The only reason that you want to have uranium enriched to 60% or greater is if you intend to build nuclear weapons. And yet that government is fully embraced terrorist ideology. They hate America. They hate Israel. Matter of fact, they hate Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Oman, Kuwait, Iraq, because the fact is, over the last 6 weeks, they dumped hundreds and hundreds of drones and missiles on top of these countries. So, what's to say if they had a nuclear weapon, they wouldn't pop one in Riyadh, or they wouldn't pop one in Kuwait City? Those cities mean nothing to them. They're not sacred to Islam. The only two cities, three cities that are really sacred to Islam would be Qom, because that's for Shia, and then you have Mecca and Medina. You definitely don't want to do anything in those cities at all. Other than that, everybody's free game. And if you even have inclination of allying with the United States, you're an enemy to the theocracy government of Iran, and they will do anything in their power to bring you to their knees. That is why they do not need a nuclear weapon totally. All right? All right, that's my thing. All right, so hope I didn't lose any followers over that one. Did y'all know the supreme leader, Muqtada Khomeini, is severely disfigured? Matter of fact, they said his face is severely wounded and that his legs are disfigured. All right. Just a couple paragraphs from this one, because I go over more thoroughly at the JPA report. Iran's new supreme leader, Muqtada Khomeini, is still recovering from severe facial and leg injuries suffered during the airstrike that killed his dad at the beginning of the war. 3 people close to the inner circle told Reuters. Khomeini's face was disfigured in the attack in the supreme leader's compound in central Tehran, and he suffered a significant injury to one or both legs, all 3 sources said. The 56-year-old is nonetheless recovering from his wounds and remains mentally sharp, according to the people who requested anonymity to discuss sensitive matters. He is taking part in meetings with senior officials via audio conferencing and engaged in decision making on major issues, including the war and negotiations with Washington, 2 of them said. Can we please get the address where he's staying at? Because if he's not staying in a hotel, in a hospital, can we get that address, please? Because we can complete the process of his transition. All right, so he can go looking for those 72 virgins, because he doesn't deserve to suck any more oxygen down. He's wasting it. All right. So next up is NATO. Trump versus frustration with NATO, says Iranian Navy destroyed, and as U.S. preps for the blockade, which is going to start this morning, right? President Donald Trump addressed several pressing international conflicts after stepping off of Air Force One in Maryland on Sunday, declaring that Iranian naval forces have been destroyed. Ahead of a planned energy blockade, and expressing sharp disapproval of NATO for its perceived lack of support, our so-called allies in Europe, in Western Europe. I said Western Europe, not Eastern Europe. Their military is destroyed. Their whole navy is underwater. And that's not saying they got submarines. They're just underwater permanently. You know that 158 ships are gone. Their navy is gone. Most of their mine droppers are gone. And at 10 tomorrow, we have a blockade going into effect. Other nations are working so that Iran will not be able to sell oil. And then Trump furthermore underscored the United States energy independence, asserting that international vessels are bypassing traditional routes in favor of purchasing American oil. We got plenty of it. Come buy it from us, right? Now, the news for the day. And it breaks my heart. Fang, fang, bang, bang. He dropped his bid to be governor of California. Because what that means to me is I got to stop all the jokes I always talk about. Fang, fang, bang, bang. Because I've never liked Eric Swalwell, not one bit. And then recently, he's just over and over again going after President Trump, and everyone, and I think Pete Hegseth too. But yeah, Fang Fang is no more. But he's under investigation by the Manhattan DA for some reason. I don't know why the Manhattan DA is investigating him. Maybe one of the alleged events took place in New York City. It might be. And then he's under investigation from the Department of Homeland Security because allegedly he hired a Brazilian illegal immigrant and paid her under the table for work at their house, right? But he's dropping his bid to run for the governor of California, but he said he will not resign from the United States House of Representatives. So Eric Swalwell said he is suspending his campaign for California governor, citing personal issues and ongoing allegations. In a statement posted on X, I'm suspending my campaign for governor to my family, staff, friends, and supporters I am truly sorry for the mistakes and judgment I have made in my past. I will fight the serious false allegations that have been made, but that's my fight, not my campaign's. The decision comes as pressure mounted over sexual assault allegations published in a bombshell report from the San Francisco Chronicle on Friday, with lawmakers from both parties calling for him to drop out of the race and resign from Congress. He already said he's not resigning from Congress, but Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, who else? Um, I know there's other names in there. Okay, let's see. Senator Ruben Galgo from Arizona is another one. Um, there's about five of them or six of them. Um, well, I'll just read a couple of these paragraphs real quick. California Democrats, including former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Senator Adam Schiff, come out against um, uh, the Democrat gubernatorial candidate after multiple bombshells were published Friday against accusing Swalwell of sexual assault of a former female staffer and allegedly sexually harassing other female staffers. Um, so several people dropped their endorsements of him. Matter of fact, he took his endorsement section down from his website totally, right? Um, this is the article I'm looking for right here. I'm skimming through these guys. Before I get to continue with the bad news, Artemis 2, if you've been hiding under a rock for the whole weekend, Artemis 2 successfully splashed down Friday night in the Pacific Ocean, okay? That's cool, right? Now, and they're ramping up for Artemis 3 now. And as we keep flying through here, hey, if you're watching, please click that follow button and click the like button for me, please. And then send us some chats if you want and talk to us. Say good morning. All right, that's always a good way to start. So, sexual harassment allegations have been amplified online by Democrat-aligned politicos, including targeting Eric Swalwell, one of the leading Democrat candidates in California's gubernatorial race, amid repeated denials and cease and desist letters sent by Swalwell's lawyer. One of the alleged victims shared her story publicly for the first time, accusing Swalwell of taking advantage of her while she was intoxicated on multiple occasions, according to bombshell report published by the San Francisco Chronicle on Friday. The alleged victim's story claims that Swalwell pressured her to send naked pictures of herself and sent sexually explicit photos of his own. And oh my goodness, this is actually sexual assault. Yeah. Okay. So as we continue through this, Eric Swalwell should immediately, let's just continue to call him Fang Fang Bang Bang, should immediately drop out. Democrat strategist Bavik Lathia said after the Chronicle's report dropped out, it's damning. Matt Mahan, a former San Jose mayor and fellow Democrat Party gubernatorial candidate in California, also called on Swalwell to drop out. To the survivor who risked everything to come forward, I believe you, man, said. To the Democrat Party, you better hold him accountable. If we don't, we have no credibility asking anyone else to do the same. And his friend, Senator Ruben Gallego, asked him to drop out and took his endorsement away. This is ridiculous, man. Oh, my goodness. he needs to go to jail. Congresswoman Anna Luna Paulina, Paul. Okay, I keep getting her name. Okay, the Congresswoman from Florida, Republican, is introducing a privileged resolution to expel him from Congress this week. And then she's also going to do another one to expel the same type of person from the Republican Party, Congressman Tony Gonzalez, from Congress this week. And also Congresswoman McCormick may be expelled from Congress this week. So Congress may be a little light on its representatives by Friday. We will see. But I can bet this man is gone. Any Democrat that would actually vote to keep him in Congress needs to be voted out totally. Any congressman okay, let's put it like this. Any congressman or congresswoman that votes to keep either Swalwell or Gonzalez in Congress needs to leave the Congress, no matter what. So this is the way I would go. I would vote to expel him and have Gonzalez's the next thing going, right? Or if you can do both of them at the same time, I would do that also, right? That is crazy. That is crazy. Yeah. The Covite for life. See, he's not surprised. That man's a total jerk. He needs to go away. Wow. While we're talking, there's another one. This guy is toying with the idea of running for president in 2028. Wes Moore. All right. I know I'm running out of time here, but we'll go through this one really quick. I've never liked Wes Moore. Wes Moore was an officer in the Army. He's now the governor of Maryland, but he's another one of those stolen valors. Oh man, ugh. Calm down, James. All right, he is stolen valor. Okay, before the Baltimore Sun published a word of its reported investigation against Maryland Governor Wes Moore, the Democrat state leader and his team are already blasting the paper's new ownership as right-wing and cozy with President Donald Trump. The Baltimore Sun, which purchased Sinclair, is reportedly examining Moore's military record, scholastic sports tenure, and other parts of his background. Semaphore reported earlier this week, citing the Sun, brought on investigative reporters from sinister outlets in the Sinclair umbrella. It actually makes me very sad that the Baltimore Sun, okay, I'm going to get to the gist of this. Moore, who has downplayed talks of his 2028 presidential bid, has previously faced scrutiny for listing a Bronze Star on a Bush-era White House fellowship application before he received the award, as well as questioned the depth of his Baltimore roots during his 2022 race against Larry Hogan. Moore ultimately received the Bronze Star in 2024. For what? The governor added Army members he served with don't question his integrity. I question his. Oh my goodness. Well, we weren't in combat anymore in 2024. He was in politics in 2024. In August 2024 statement on his military record, Moore acknowledged he knew before leaving Afghanistan that he had not received the award. In that statement, Moore said his deputy brigade commander encouraged him to apply for a White House fellowship and simultaneously recommended him for a Bronze Star and told him to include it on his application. He added that in his officer evaluation, his supporters ranked him in the top 1% of Operation Enduring Freedom to officers and called him the best lieutenant I've encountered, before later noting he sincerely wished he had gone back to correct the note on my application. He's just like Senator Richard Blumenthal. If you didn't know, he was in the army during Vietnam. He never went to Vietnam, but when he started his campaign to run for Senate, he called himself a Vietnam veteran. Never seen combat a day in his life, and after he found out, he said, "Oh, I'm a Vietnam era veteran." I mean, it's not like he was in the box like the rest of us, getting shot at left and right. And you got this knucklehead right here. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you a story about me. I mean, I don't know. We're at 7 o'clock. Okay. Um, when my first tour in Iraq, right, in, my only tour in Iraq, I was on a mid team, and we did our whole year, and we got our DA 638s, which is a ward recommendation, and every single one of us was recommended for a Bronze Star. They told us every one of us were going to receive Bronze Stars, right? And and lo and behold, when we received our award while we were leaving, uh, Master Sergeant Eric Alfieri, a good friend of mine, he's a retired sergeant major now, came to me and said, "Sergeant Pierce, I don't know what to say about this." I said, "About what?" He said, "Here's your award." I mean, like, you're handing me a Bronze Star? Really? We opened it up, and I'm sorry, your Bronze Star was laterally downgraded to a Meritorious Service Medal. I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Yeah, yours is the only one. Everyone here on our team got Bronze Stars except for you. You got a Meritorious Service Medal." I was like, "Okay." I mean, it wasn't like I got shot or anything, or blown up, or charged any machine gun nest or anything. I got shot at a lot, got mortared, almost died. But, okay, I got an MSM. Not once ever did I say to anyone that I was going to receive, or that I received the Bronze Star. This guy was full of it. He shouldn't even be governor of Maryland at this point in his career at all. He shouldn't even have a career. He looks like he joined the military to check the block so he can use it in his political career after he left the service. That's what that sounds like too. Oh my goodness, really? Now I'm. Oh. All right, so we'll go more into that later on. I thank y'all very much for tuning in today. I hope my blood pressure is not too rough. Richard, pray for me, man, please. Oh my goodness. All right, let me do this raid real quick, and we'll go into the raid a little bit late to Vince. R-A-I-D-E. Hold it. Copy. Hold on just a second, people. All right. So I will see everybody at noon today, or noon central, for the JPA report. All right. Y'all have a great morning. Go get some breakfast, people. Okay, here we go. Click. There we go. Check y'all later.